All right, we're live.
We're live. Hello.
Well, actually, we've been live.
We
for
have
a couple of minutes.
For 2 minutes at least. Well, hi. Thank you for joining. We're Mark and Valerie, and we're at my home. And we haven't done a live for a while, so bear with us in case we do something wrong. But thank you so much for joining us today. So we are tech reviewers here on Amazon, and we focus on smart home technology, and a little bit of other stuff in between. We do a lot of product reviews here on Amazon and YouTube. Mark is the engineer, so he tests and plays with all the products, and I'm the one who actually has to use them. So
you're the practical one. I just like playing with the toys.
I make the final decision.
That's right.
Anyway, so if this is your first time here, thank you for joining, and please follow us. You can find the button there on the Amazon Live carousel. If you click that little follow button, you'll find out the next time we do a live stream.
Actually, can they see the follow button? I think it's circled.
It's circled there,
Oh,
that little tiny thing. So we'd appreciate if you follow us there, and you can see all of our live streams. You can actually see all of our live streams that we've done before here on our page. So let's see, what else are we going to show today?
Well, I think we have another thing to show, which is our page.
Oh, so because we're Amazon influencers, we upload a lot of product videos here to our page. So this is our storefront, and here you can kind of see every single thing that we've reviewed that we have a video for on our channel. And if you're watching us today, October 11th, this is the second day of the Amazon Prime, what are they called? The
Prime Deal
Prime
Days.
Big Deal Days.
Oh, big deal.
Big deal days. So these are today is a big deal, and we have a few more hours left on some of those great deals. So in addition to some of the WiZ products we're talking about today, we went ahead and picked all of our recommendations, and we have them here on a list on our storefront.
So one thing I want to say before we forget is at the very top of the screen here, you'll see there's a search bar, so you can actually search for things in our library.
Oh, which is handy because there's a lot of content.
There's a lot of content there. So here's today's list. So we have all sitting here of what.
So all of these Prime Big Deal Day picks, these are products that we've actually tested in our house that we use and we recommend. There's smart home products there, but there's also some other things that are just great to have around the house. And for a lot of these products, we already have a video. So if you want to see how this thing works, you can find our video here on our storefront or on the product page.
Yeah, and keep in mind that after this today, you can still search for things, and all those things like this list will go away. But what will happen is we've curated this from all the other things we've done, so you can still find things on our page. All right, so.
All right, and
are we ready for the next scene?
We are.
Okay. So let's put me back on the screen.
So today we are going to talk about WiZ connected lighting. And we've been using WiZ products for a long time. I have to say, at first, I thought Mark was crazy because he wanted to get Wi-Fi lights in our kitchen. But because we have a lot of smart switches, we've been doing the smart home stuff for a while. So when we originally got the WiZ lighting, the Wi-Fi lighting, it was a big undertaking for us because we had to retrofit our existing fluorescent lights. So we had to have an electrician come out and install them. But I have to say we really love them, and we've been using them for quite a few years now.
So the one thing is that, did you mention that WiZ sent us the
No, I will.
Oh, that's later? Okay.
That's
One thing I
later.
want to mention about the kitchen retrofit that we did is that, we're in California, and you had to have fluorescent can lights. That was kind of the requirements, right? That's now changed. Now you have to have LEDs. But the kind of can lights they were putting in had transformers. And so we had an electrician come in and get rid of the transformer and put in a socket so you can actually screw in a retrofit kit into there. So you may have to do that with your house if you do something like this, but there are other ways of hooking things up. We'll leave that up to you, but that's it.
So it was great to go from fluorescent to LED in the first place, but the WiZ lights give us so much control, and we especially love the circadian rhythm feature. The kitchen is the central part of our house, and the lights come on really bright in the morning, and they kind of gradually dim down all day until right before we go to bed, they're pretty dim. So it's really nice, and it really gives you, it's hard to explain, but it kind of gives you a nice feeling that you're moving through your day with that circadian rhythm.
Well, and at night, when you have the kitchen lights come on, you don't get blinded by a bright light So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, so it's really great. We really like the WiZ Light. So when we found out about the new line of WiZ connected products, we were really excited to try them out. So all the products that we're going to show you today, WiZ sent us them for the review. And so we want to share some of their new products here today. And what is first?
Okay, so the first one is here. This is the Smart Downlight. So this is a what do I think there's a special name for it? It's the Smart Downlight. Well, that's all it says here. But basically, it's a slim design. I'm going to take it out of the case so you can actually see it. Here you go.
So also, just a reminder, if you're just joining us, we're going to be talking about the WiZ lighting today. And if you're new to Amazon Live, we're going to be highlighting all of the different products that we're going to take a look at down in the carousel. And depending on whether you're watching us on a laptop or on your phone, sometimes the carousel will be under our picture and sometimes it'll be on the side. So right now we're highlighting these WiZ connected 6-inch smart downlights.
Alrighty, so in the box comes the instructions, and then all the parts. So hold on, I guess I could take the parts out here.
Right, so these are lights that you would put up in the ceiling.
Yep.
And these in particular, these are called the slim version.
Yep. Slim version. Check this out. I can get it out of the package it is. It's nicely packaged. They do a nice job with the packaging. It's nice and easy to take out. But there it is. Look at this thing. It's a nice LED light, and this one happens to be color. And I think it's how many lumens does it say? 1,000?
Oh, I've got it right here.
We have our cheat sheet of all
Where's my
the
cheat
data.
sheet?
And
It is,
well, I can tell you what on the lumens we can say it's 1,000 lumens.
1150 it says.
Oh, it's different.
Oh
Than
no,
the box.
that's the retrofit. Sorry.
Yes, the first
This is
one.
1100 lumens.
Yeah, even though the box is 1,000.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. It's 1,000 lumens.
So the first one is this. Okay,
Yes,
so
it's 1,000
here it is.
lumens.
And this is kind of cool though, because check this out. So it's very thin. It's got air cooling in here, but the idea is you can put it up in the ceiling without having to have that can. You know, if you ever seen can lights, they're called can lights because they have a can. This one you don't need that. So you can just cut a hole in the ceiling if you got wiring up there and put it in, and then basically you just bend these clips up, push it up through the hole, and pop, it comes in. Now, before you do that, you have to hook up the electronics. So this one here is not a retrofit kit. This one here, you've got to wire in the wires. So if I can figure out how to open the box. All right.
So this is most likely, you're going to have to hire an electrician to do this for you because they need to go ahead and connect up the wiring.
These wires here, right? So in other words, when we did the retrofit and we replaced the cans, we were able to use a screw-in type, and that was fine. But if we use these, we would have to actually take the wires, the electrical wires, and actually plug them into here. And they do a nice job. They give these little connectors that you just push the wire in, it connects it up. And then you just basically break a hole through one of these little tabs here, put a grommet in there, and your wires are in there. And then once it's done, you snap this shut. And then this is up in the ceiling itself. And then this is below the ceiling. So you just then put that up in the ceiling and snap it, and you're done. So, I mean, it's really nice. And this looks really good. Pretty well built. Even has a gasket on it to seal it good, which is kind of nice. So this is WiZ. It's color, like I said, it does colors. Like I think it's 16 million colors, and it's what is it like 6,500 Kelvin? What's the?
It goes from 2,200 to 6,500 Kelvin.
So pretty bright. It's pretty cool.
And
so,
once you have it installed, you connect it up to your Wi-Fi, and you can easily control it with the WiZ app.
Right. Now the other ones they have, which we don't have here because we installed an older version. This is the newer version. The newer one that you see now in the carousel, that one there is a retrofit kit. So if you were to if you click on that and you go look at the page, what you'll see if there's a picture of it, and you can see there's like a screw, like a connector like you would have in your lamp, right? So you just screw that into the can light you had, if you had that kind of can light, and boom, you got your retrofit kit hooked up, and you now got lights. So you have a couple options. The slim kit, where you have to hook the wiring directly in, but you don't need a can. And these other ones here. So that one's, is that the color one?
This one is in color, so they have two versions of the retrofit light. This one's in color, and they also have one that's just tunable white.
Yep. Now the specs on those things are kind of interesting because these two lights that we're showing here, actually all three of these lights, have what's called Spacesence. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Actually, we're going to demonstrate it.
We're going to demo it, yeah. Yeah, we're going to see how that. We're going to see how continuity camera works on our iPhones. And the other thing is it supports Matter. Now, we haven't tried it out with Matter yet, but it's supposed to support Matter as well. And any other specs on there that are worth mentioning here?
Well, they're compatible with your favorite voice assistant from Amazon, from Google, or from Apple.
Yeah, and they're Wi-Fi, so keep that in mind.
They're Wi-Fi.
And they have an app, which is pretty nice.
They have an app.
Well, I'll show you the app later on in the show.
All right.
I think that's pretty much it, right?
And yeah, they have a little bit different specs. So the this one that's in color, that has all the different LED colors.
16 million.
16 million. It says it's extra bright. It's 1500 lumens, so it's a little brighter than this one. And then the one that is tunable white is 750 lumens, so that's a little more dim.
Now, tunable white is where you can make it like daylight or kind of a yellow light, like the old light bulbs
like a
used
warm,
to be.
glowy light.
Right, and then you can change the
Color,
intensity.
temperature, the intensity.
Yeah,
so you can go on those. You can go from 2700 to 5000 Kelvin.
So that gives you a couple options. If you're retrofitting, you can get the retrofit versions, or you can have a new installation, or you just want to do it differently, you can put these little slim ones. And I love these slim. I wish we had those when we did it, because we could have had the electrician just hook up the box and pop that in and been done. All right.
Yeah, these are really nice because they're so slim compared to the traditional cam lights. Now the ones we have downstairs, the older ones, they're the tunable white. So you're not going to see those change color, but we will see some other things change color.
Yep, and I'm going to bring up a picture of downstairs if this all works. And so once you bring up the light bulbs, I think it's next, the light bulbs?
Yeah.
Where are they?
All right, so if you're just joining us, we're talking about the WiZ connected smart lighting products. We just talked about the two different sets of smart downlights, both the ones that, the slim downlights that you have to have wired in, as well as the retrofit kits. Those are, and we just highlighted those in the carousel. You can get the retrofit kits in either tunable white or color, and the slim downlights are available in color LEDs. So now we're going to shift to regular old light bulbs.
Yes, and watch
well,
this.
actually, regular old smart light bulbs.
And this is cool. Watch this. There's our kitchen.
There's our kitchen, which is pretty neat.
And you can still see us because I can do picture in a picture.
Yep, so downstairs in our kitchen, actually the pendant lights, we have those WiZ
Light bulbs.
light bulbs.
These are 800 lumens. They're 80 watt equivalent, or I'm sorry, 60 watt equivalent. It's like a 60 watt light bulb, but it only takes 8.8 watts of power. So, and it is plug and play. It does all the different smart guy, like Google and Amazon and Siri. It also does Matter, and it's Wi-Fi and also Bluetooth, because that's how the app can get it initialized. So it's pretty nice. And this box is empty because you can see them.
Yep, they're
in the
installed
picture. They're installed on those
there.
pendant lights. And that's important because so when we put our lights in the ceiling that you can see, those are the older models and they don't have Spacesence. So what Spacesence does is those two little light bulbs you see over there, one's what called the controller and one's called the processor. Okay, you need to have at least two of these bulbs or these these units here. And basically what Spacesence does is if you're not walking around the kitchen, it'll turn the lights off if you have it set that way. And if you walk in, let's say the lights are off, you walk into the kitchen, it will actually sense your motion and turn on the lights. Now, what's cool is that there's no separate motion sensor or anything like that. It's using the Wi-Fi in your house. So it's basically as the light communicates over Wi-Fi to your router, and you walk around it, and you're interrupting those Wi-Fi beams, boom. It senses it and says, oh, I can turn on the lights, or whatever setup you've made in the app, because you can tell it to do different things.
Yeah, it's really neat. So you can do motion sensing and activate your lights without having a hub or without installing separate motion sensors. It's really neat.
It's neat. And the thing is that those older lights we have, the older WiZ lights, the cool thing is they're all in the same scene. So what happens is when those lights turn on because of motion, so do the ones in the ceiling that aren't the motion sensing. They get told to turn on. So
yeah, because they're all WiZ lights, they all work
they
together.
all work together, which is
Which
really
is
awesome.
really neat, because usually when you upgrade your smart home technology, you have to buy new stuff.
Are you ready to go downstairs?
I'm just about ready to go downstairs. Before we go, I just wanted to say that we're highlighting this 2-pack of the 60-watt equivalent color bulbs. But there's a lot of different options. If you go to the WiZ Connected store, there's tons of options. So for whatever you need, different colors, different packs, 1, 4 packs, different light equivalencies. So I'm going to run downstairs and I'm going to show you how this stuff works.
Awesome. So, all right. So remember, you can look at that. Is it on sale today?
Yes,
Ooh,
it's
a
Prime
Day
Big Deal.
So
a lot of the products we're showing today are actually on Prime Big Deals.
yes, and by the way, if you're watching this as a rerun here, because these things stay around, just keep in mind in the carousel it'll show you what the current pricing is. All right, so you're gonna head downstairs.
Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs.
All right, get ready. Oh, you know what?
What?
We can introduce the thing first.
Oh.
Because you're gonna show this.
So you can control these all, of course, with an app or with your favorite voice assistant, but something new that we really actually like is the remote.
I can't believe we like another remote.
Well, it's
really
funny because
crazy.
you think, what do we need a remote for? We can just control it with our phone or ask, somebody to turn it on for you. But the remote's really handy, and we're going to show you how that works in a minute.
And it's good for when your friends come over and go, what do you call those lights? Or yourself, because I don't know about you, but if you have a lot of things that are hooked up to the Amazon Echoes, can you remember all the names you gave things? Because that's probably the biggest thing. So, all right, you're going to head downstairs?
All right, I'm going to head downstairs. But if you're just joining us, we're talking about the WiZ Connected Lights. I'm going to highlight the light bulbs in the carousel.
Did you highlight
right now.
the remote yet?
I already did.
Ooh,
so
right.
I just actually
So,
went back.
Let's get going. I want to see it.
You can turn this back and forth if you want.
I can do whatever. I can run the console. All right.
All right.
Are you going to bring the cheat sheet with you?
Just in case I forget.
I tell you. Well, it's funny. We laugh because when we first started doing these, we didn't put a cheat sheet together. But you realize you have all these different products, and you're trying to remember what are the specs. And instead of looking at the page, we put it on a paper so we can always look at it and refer to it and make sure we don't forget to tell you something important. But I'm going to turn on your mic when you get to the kitchen.
Okay.
All right. So get ready. All right, Valerie's going in the kitchen. I'm turning on her microphone. Now she should be able to talk.
Hi, I am downstairs in the kitchen.
All right. Now I'm going to mute my mic because I don't want it to be an echo here.
All right, so I'm down here in the kitchen, and I've got the WiZ Remote. So here it is. It's a pretty simple little remote. So it comes with 4 different presets, plus on and off, and then a little switch to turn on the dimming up and down. I'll show you that in a minute. You can program all these different scenes in the WiZ app. So let me show you how it works. So here we are in the kitchen. And as we said before, these 2 lights here, those are the new WiZ light bulbs that we showed that we have in the carousel. And these are the 60-watt equivalent bulbs. They're in our pendant lights. And then up in the ceiling, we have our older generation WiZ retrofit lights. These are tunable white upstairs. These are color. So first I'm going to run through the different scenes here on the remote. So the first one is this cute little half moon that turns it to evening. So you can see that dims the light, sets everything down real low. It's really nice warm scene. And then when I move, that's Spacesence for you. It changes it. So the number 1, I'll go back to daylight. So this is super bright. This is the brightest we can go. Number 2. This is called cozy, so it's a little warmer. Number 3. This is TV mode. This is one of the program modes. You can see that the pendant lights turn to like this nice light blue. And then number 4, this is the party mode. So the color lights keep changing different colors and stuff like that. And if I go back to the daylight, I can also turn them down, turn them back up. You can use that dimmer switch with any of the other scenes. So I'm going to walk out of the room right now into this other room and kind of show you how Spacesence works. So I'm going to turn off the lights. There they go. All right, so now when I move, they turn back on. Well, let's do that again. All right. You can see that. So we have it set so it just comes on immediately when you walk back into the room. You can change all these settings in the WiZ app, and you can set it, to turn on a little bit later. And you can also, if there's no motion, you can have it turn off automatically after a certain period of time. So it's really neat. You don't need to install a separate motion sensor or anything like that. You just use the Spacesence, and I think it's fun, so I'm going to do it again. There it goes, they're off. And now they're back on. And we love it because all we had to do was install these 2 new WiZ bulbs, and then all of our other bulbs are also working with it. So it's a really cool feature, and we really like it. So now I'm gonna head back upstairs.
All right, so that was pretty cool. And the other thing is, I think Valerie mentioned that each of those 4 buttons on there, you can actually program 1, 2, 3, 4. You can program to be whatever you want the scene to be. So those were the scenes we actually programmed on them. So Valerie's on her way back up. All right. Okay, so what's next on this whole thing here? So we see all the lights. So this is the remote. These are the light bulbs. This is the slice, the slim light. And the other ones we showed you in the carousel, which are the ones that are retrofit versions. All right, Valerie's almost back on scene, and she brought my phone with me. All right. All right, so while you're talking about other stuff, I'm going to turn off the Spacesence, or what is it called? What's the thing from Apple called? Like a continuity camera. I'm going to turn it off on my laptop because it's right now running.
Are the microphones?
You're on. This one here is on.
Oh, okay.
So you
this
can
one's
see.
off?
You're off. I can take it from you. Then you don't even have it.
Okay,
How
good.
about that?
I don't want any echoes.
Well, the nice thing is we set up the studio, and we actually did a video in the studio. I got all the controls here to turn the different mics on and off and everything else, and sometimes it gets confusing that I remember to turn it off. Fortunately, the little console we have has red lights and white lights, so you kind of know when things are on. So, but you still press the wrong buttons from time to time. All right, so my phone is no longer on continuity camera.
Of water.
Well, you deserve a drink of water. Okay, let me get my phone over here, because we're going to try to see if this thing will talk to my phone, and we can show the app. Okay, so where are we at here? Okay.
All right. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about the new WiZ connected products. WiZ sent us this to do the review. We just talked about the WiZ Remote and the WiZ Color.
It's called the Smart Downlight.
Oh, that's a Smart Downlight. We just talked about these really cool color LED bulbs.
Yep.
And we talked about the remote.
And the remote.
So you're going to put all those up there?
I'm putting them all up here. What are we talking about next?
We're talking about the camera.
Okay, so let me see if I can hide this out of the picture here.
All right, so WiZ actually also has an indoor camera, and what's really neat about it is that you can make it work with the lights right in the WiZ app. So Mark's going to show you how that works.
Well, I'm going to attempt to show you. We're going to see if it plugs in. So here
This is an indoor camera, and what's really neat about this is that you can buy indoor cameras from other companies, and we've tested a lot of them. There's a lot that we like to use. This one works with the lights really easily within that same app. They're all connected to your Wi-Fi, so you can have the motion sensor here trigger other lights in your house and set up different scenes for that. And you can have it obviously record things.
Yes, which is pretty cool. Now the camera's kind of neat. It's a high def camera, which they don't say in the specs, but full HD usually means 720p. I don't know if it's 1080p, but it would be nice if they kind of put on the page.
It says full HD.
Yes, and that usually means 720p in specmanship.
Well, I thought it was 1080p.
But the picture looks pretty good. We're going to show that in a second, although I don't know how well you'll see it in the product.
It says 1080p right here on the carousel, yeah.
Well, then that's the answer.
It's 1080p, full HD.
See, I'm glad you noticed that. So they must have put it in the title, I guess. All right. Is it on special?
It is. It's on Prime Big Deal Day.
Okay.
So
now,
special on it,
in the camera, there is an SD card slot, so you can actually record to an SD card, which is really kind of nice. You can see that here.
A little slot.
Yeah. So then they have this little rubber gasket, which.
So do you need to use the cloud, or can you just record locally?
Well, you can record locally, or you can pay for a cloud service.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then in setup's easy, you press this button in the back, follow the app, and then there's a power cord, which is micro USB to USB-A. So we don't actually need that for today, because I have our handy dandy one we keep in the studio, and I can plug it in.
So we're going to plug in this camera and show you how it works.
Okay, if I can figure out how to do it. Let's see. Alrighty.
Plug it into power. You've already set this up, right?
Yeah, it's all set up. So now we'll just have to hope it works when I've got it all set up. All right, now I'm going to switch over, let's see, to the iPhone. Yeah, there we go. And then
there we go.
We can still see us. Look at that. All right, so right now I'm in the WiZ app. All right, and the camera should be coming up. Let's see, the little green light's blinking, so it's probably trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. And just show you again, here's the kitchen where we had all those lights set up. You see they're all there. There's actually a couple ones that aren't there because we actually have some of these things, other bulbs or Edison bulbs they make. They're not in there now because the pendant lights, those two A19 bulbs that Valerie showed you downstairs, are here. And I can turn them on and off from here. But you'll notice I also have the WiZ Indoor Cam here. And assuming this thing connects up to the network, which hopefully it will do soon. Yep, there we go. It's coming up. And I can turn it on. And then you can see what we see, which is a camera and a whole bunch of other gear. And it'll take a second for it to come alive. And you'll notice at the bottom it has light controls too, so I can actually change the lights in the kitchen from here if I wanted to in the app. But of course, there we go. Oh, there it is. So there it is, the view. You can see that here. You can see Valerie say hi. You can see me say hi. So you can see it's pretty good. You can actually see all the gear. You can see how we have all our different things set up and everything else as we hook up stuff. And let me see, is there a better scene I can have? Let's see. We'll go down this way here. Let's see, you can see all sorts of stuff,
Maybe people don't want a bright light in their face.
No, probably not. So, look at it this way. Yeah, how do you get the bright light out of there? Let's see. I think we're in good shape. And you can even see how that whole setup works. Anyway, so that's it. There's your camera. And you can actually change things in the room. But let me see. How do I get to... Okay. So in the app, you can make it full screen. So that's kind of neat. You can see how big and cool it is. Right? So you have a much better picture. And we'll go back. And then you can tell it to record. You can turn the sound down and off because it does do two-way talk. And you can even take a snapshot if you want. This is pretty neat. And then we can look at the timeline. And let's record something first because I haven't got anything recorded. And go back to the camera. And one thing I noticed is when you go back, it always goes back to the main screen. And we'll turn this back on again. All right. And what's the details in the camera? Is there anything I haven't mentioned?
Let's see.
I'm going to do a little recording. So he says recording in progress. Media will be stored in the SD card if one is inserted. So there's one inserted as I showed you earlier. So we're now recording this thing here and everything else. And we'll do that. And then I can just say stop recording. Alrighty, we'll hit the stop recording button. All right, actually it's still recording, I guess. All right, let's see. So now we'll look at the timeline. Oh, the device is online. It's not showing anything recorded yet. So I think I'm still recording. All right, let's see. Yeah, so still getting used to using this app. The app's a little bit harder to use, but the camera does great, as you can see here. So, recording in progress. Inserted. Okay,
right.
And then it's a recording in progress, but it's not actually recording. I guess I should have tested that ahead of time. And so I don't know why it's not recording. Oh, there it is. Oh, it took time. I guess it has to upload it into the SD card. So my fault there. Okay, and we click on the manual recording. Now you see what's happening is this is what we recorded, right? And it tells you when the event happened. It happened at 4:27 p.m. Is that correct? It's 4:28 now, so it must have been right. And then manual recording and storage says cloud. So this got stored to the cloud.
Well, yeah, so you must not have an SD card in there.
I do have an SD card in there, though. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. Well, I don't know why it says cloud. All right, so anyway, so WiZ, if you're watching this, I don't know why it says cloud, but I have an SD card in there. Because it said it's recording to the SD card and it does it. I don't know what the deal is there. But
point is, you can replay it. So this is a nice indoor security camera. and it's got motion sound detection, two-way sound, two-way audio, so you can talk. It's got the 1080p full HD camera. It's also got night vision, which is neat, IR night vision. It works over Wi-Fi, and as Mark said, it's got an SD card slot on there. But why don't you show how it works with
by the lights? Way, one thing I wanted to mention is you can download it. There's a download button on here, so you can do that if you want. What's it again?
Show how it works with the lights.
Well, so the lights, what happens is, let's see if I can do this. Let's see, we'll turn off a couple of the lights. That's what happens here. I think I have it set up for motion. So theoretically, if it get motion, you should see those little things where it says kitchen pendant lights. They should turn on if it sees motion.
There you go.
There you go. See?
Well, we turned them on the app, so I'm assuming they turned on downstairs.
And we don't have our camera down there anymore, so we can't do that anymore. But as you can see, it does the motion.
Well, so it's really nice because right there in the same app, you can set up some security scenes. So if you have the camera set up and someone walks in, it turns the lights on, which is really a great feature. Yeah,
well, could you imagine you could put this thing here like your entryway and then have it turn lights on in your house, right? Or, well, WiZ lights in your house.
Right.
If it sees motion. I just did it again. Worked just fine.
Did it again, so it works. So this is great because this is a very common thing people like to do, set up a camera when they're not home and turn on lights. And so you can turn on any of these lights in the WiZ app anytime it detects motion.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Now, one thing I didn't show was let's see. What's kind of cool in the app is, you see I went into one of the pendant lights because it's color. And you can change the color of the light here in the app. See how they give you all these little things you can do? Or you can make it dynamic. So it's kind of cool. You can do what's called party mode. And basically, it's kind of like what you saw when Valerie was showing the fourth button. It kind of changes the colors of the light. So it's pretty neat. And you can make custom ones as well. So the app's very powerful.
The app's very powerful. It's got a lot of really cool things you can do with all these lights.
But once it's set up, we never touch it. We never touch it. And the neat thing is we also have wall switches, that control those lights. And we'll turn them off manually, just turn the light switch off. And when you turn it back on, up it comes. Now, the other one you mentioned is circadian rhythm. So, just to show you this. So, in our kitchen, we have what's called My Rhythm, but I can change it to circadian rhythm. So basically it says, in the morning, make it real bright, so it wakes you up before you had your coffee. And then during the day, it'll get yellower and yellower, all right, until at night, and then it turns dark. Well, I think you had it in the half moon button or whatever, the crescent moon thing. So that's kind of cool. And then you can also make your own. So like I made one called My Rhythm, and you can see different points in the 4 different spots during the day. You can have it do different things. Yeah, so the great thing about these WiZ lights is you can really use it to customize your lights in your house. You can do color, do tunable white, but really get it to create your own scenes and create your own moods for different parts of the day, different things you're doing, or just, like I said, I really love the circadian rhythm because it really makes me feel like the day is moving on, and it makes me happy. I don't know how else to explain it. Well, when Mark was playing with this, he turned off the circadian rhythm. It made me kind of cranky. Ooh, I won't do that again. All right, now here's the kitchen for Spacesence, and you see what's called here motion sensor settings, right? And it's on all the time. When motion is detected, turn on the lights, and then there's also when you turn off the lights, it won't turn off until 5 minutes, but I can change it. I can say, oh, I want to wait 6 minutes or whatever. It can make it longer. It can make, I don't know how short I can make it. I think it's 5 minutes is the lowest you can have for turning off, which makes sense because, if you're in the kitchen doing something and you don't move, it would be bad. So that's kind of neat. And then advanced-wise, you see the delay here. This is for the motion. I can set it from 0 minutes way up. I don't forget how the maximum.
Yeah, so you could tell, like, I just waved my arm when I was downstairs. So
if you breathe, it will turn back on. It's when we recorded the video for the review, it was like we had to take multiple takes because Valerie would make some comment about it, and the lights would be off, and I would kind of do this, little motion, and the lights would come on. It was like, oh no,
really sensitive. So but you can tailor all that.
You can change the sensitivity.
It's really easy to do. You have it on super sensitive. I have it
super sensitive, number 9. So we could make it less sensitive. So that's kind of the cool thing. And then you see it's called beacon and processor. So you have to specify one bulb is the beacon and one is the processor. It has to have at least 2 bulbs to do this thing. So, and again, it's not just the bulbs, the pendant light bulbs you saw, but if we had those retrofit or the slice you know, the slim version.
Yeah.
Those have Spacesence as well. They
And it's
work
just,
that
it's
way.
important when you are selecting your WiZ bulbs for whatever you know, for whatever project or whatever room you want. Make sure that if you want the Spacesence feature, that bulb uses Spacesence. So it's important to look at the specifications before you buy. So all the ones we're showing you today use Spacesence.
Yeah. So, okay, so that's that. All right.
Right.
I'm going to turn off the camera
Okay.
the easy way. It's off. All right. So we'll put that off to the side because I don't think I need that anymore. All right. It's off to the side, and we can take the box, put it back on the shelf. Okay. What's the next?
The next thing is we are going to talk about the LED strip lights.
Indoor LED strip lights. So these are kind of cool, and they work with the app as well. So they're kind of neat. Now this one's a little more complicated. Got to be a little more geeky for this one here.
These are really fun. If you've never used strip lights before, they're really fun. They're flexible. They change colors, and you can use them for a lot of different scenarios in your house.
All right, so it comes with 2 strips. I think they're like 6 feet or something like that. Directions and some quick start thing. I'm only going to connect. Oh, I do want to take one other thing out of here. Show everybody. All right, so these here. What's the deal on these?
These are 6.6 foot.
Yeah, it's because it's 2. See?
Foot? Oh, there's 2.
There's 2 secretly hiding in here. You see?
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? And it comes with a little button to turn them on and off, but you can use the app. So this is just a controller to hook it up. And you have to pull these. So on the end of you pull off this thing here. This little, you probably can't see, this little cover. It's kind of a little pain to pull off. Once you get it off, it exposes these pins, and then you can connect things up together.
Oh, so you can do it
Yeah, so I've got it hooked up here. You just got to make sure you connect them the right way. There's actually the voltage is on one side only. You got to make sure the voltage here lines up with the voltage on this one here. So when you get the directions, pay really close attention to that. And then because these are because there's 2 things you hook them together, you see this other end over here. Let's see if we can show it here. Hopefully you can see that. There's the little pins here. This is the female side here, and then you take the cover off of here, plug this in, and then both things are hooked up together. So I'm not going to show them
So you can connect
both.
them together, and that's more than 12 feet of string lights.
Yep. And then we can plug in the thing, and I can show you it lit up.
That's cool. So these are also compatible with your favorite voice assistant. You don't need a hub to run them, but they do support Matter, which is neat. And the white brightness is 1800 lumens.
That's pretty bright.
Super bright, brighter than some of the other things we showed today.
Yeah,
and they're multicolor.
See, they have the LEDs on here. They have the white ones and the color ones, so that's kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to plug it in. You just connect it up here. Alrighty. Okay. There we go. It's on. See, it's pretty bright. I don't know if you can see it or not, but check it out. It's pretty. It's pretty bright on the lights. And but now what's nice is what I can do is I can bring up the app. I'm going to bring. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Do I want to bring up the app? No, I don't need to. I guess. I'll start without bringing up the app. So what I can do is I can change the colors. I can make it daylight, which you notice is really bright. Hold that one there. Whoa, blows out the camera. Cool white. I can make it night light, so it's kind of dim, kind of hard to see. Cozy. They seem to like those. Now everything seems to be. I haven't been able to figure out how to make it individually addressable, so I think it's one color is all you get. True colors, and so forth. Then there's TV time. Remember that one? That's the blue one that you saw on the other lights.
Yes, strip lights are great to put around your TV or your, so when you're watching movies or playing video games, looks really nice.
Yeah, this is what's cool. So on this screen, you can say party, right? And it'll actually change over time. It'll change to different colors. And you can adjust the speed at which the thing is doing that. So I'm going to turn on the picture here so you can see that. And it'll put us in a little picture in a picture. So you can still see it. A little harder to see because it's small. But you see on the app, I'm in the dynamic section, and I can say candlelight, right? And you see how it's changed it. I can pulse it. I can make it golden white or steampunk.
Well,
Is that the thing we saw in New Zealand?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, that's
steampunk
cool.
is a thing.
That's cool. And fireplace, you can make kind of do this thing of fireplace, and then this is the party, right? So you see what I'm doing as you're watching the app is I'm able to change all those settings to go do what I want to do.
And these have tape on the back. They're really easy to mount.
Yep, so sticky tape.
Sticky tape.
And you know what's kind of nice is that they have the, you just can't tell from this thing. Let me switch back. What's kind of cool is you can, if you feel this, it's like a rubber coating, so you're not feeling the devices, the LEDs, you're actually feeling this plastic coating that they have on there, which is really nice. You know, not all LED light strips have that plastic coating. This makes it really nice when you mount it, you're not worrying about it. So that's pretty cool. And then, like I said, you can connect the two together. And matter of fact, it looks like you could probably connect more. I don't know what their specification is, but they keep going on and on. So that's it. That's it.
Those are the Wi-Fi LED light strips.
Okay.
Those are pretty neat.
All right, I'm going to unplug them now. Sorry, guys, you're going away. All right, unplugged. Okay. All right. Now we're going to put all these things. Let's see. We got more gadgets on the table.
More gadgets. So what's next, Mark?
Okay, next is something really big. Hold on. Let me get the box. If I don't drop it.
So the last product we're going to highlight today are these really neat outdoor string lights.
All right, outdoor string lights. I don't know if you guys have string lights or whatever else, but you know, a lot of them, you know, they're kind of cool, but you know, maybe they're single color or whatever else. These are cool because they're multicolor and they're each individually addressable. And this one comes, I think, with 12. Is that correct? So this particular one's a 12 unit. Yep, bulb by 12.
12 bulbs, and it's 16 million colors, 48 feet.
Wow. So that's actually nice that they give you that spec. So 12 bulbs, 48 feet. So what's that, 4 feet apart? Something like that? Did I do the math right?
I think so.
Alrighty, so let's see. Oh, here they are. Let me take this over here. I need room. Okay.
Yeah, we're really excited to install these. We just got these, so we haven't had a chance to install them yet.
I left them here.
So we thought we'd show you what they look like.
Yeah, this is what comes in the box, right? So, big power adapter. So you do definitely need power and a button to turn them on and off if you want to do it manually. And a whole bunch of wires in here. And you notice it's got those nice junctions where you can kind of string them up and hook them on hooks or whatever else to string them along. But what I want to show is how cool they look. All right, let's see. There's a lot of cardboard. Let's get rid of it. I don't need this cardboard anymore. Let's see. Will it come off? Can I do it? All right. I always like throwing the cardboard over the side. All right. So here we go. This is it.
Wow, that is heavy duty power.
Yeah, no messing around here. This is really.
These are for outdoor use.
Yes. Okay, put that over there.
So this is great if you have you want to have some fancy lighting outside.
Woo!
They're really bright.
Uh-huh. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Is it coming on? All right, WiZ string lights. Here we go. So I'm going to now put in the night light because they're really bright. So there you go. There they are. And kind of give you an idea. There's the bulb. These are replaceable, I understand, but it's really heavy duty. You know what? Let's turn
the overhead camera on.
Overhead camera on. Pull this. Oh, can't pull it any farther. It's kind of stuck. That's as far as it goes. I gotta undo all the things. But here's the system, and here's the kind of the cable. You can see the junction here. If you look down here, it's all black, so it's kind of hard to tell. See if I put some white stuff behind it, you can probably tell. But it's got a thing to hook on things with and everything else. So that's pretty neat. But now the cool thing is you can make it, blue. So that's the TV mode. And I'm going to put you back to the front camera because then you can see them right directly. And then you can go dynamic and you can go party. And then party's kind of cool because you'll notice that all the bulbs are different. I'm going to lower the intensity and the brightness here. Brightness. Make a little lower.
So we don't blow you guys out.
There we go. I think that's better. And then you can change the speed at which they change. So I can go like this, and it turns on the rabbit to make it go faster. So you see, I can go change it. So this is cool because if you hook them up in your backyard or wherever you happen to have these things, the neat thing is you can go change these things to different settings in the app, right? Which is really kind of nice. That's spring.
This is really fun.
It's a lot of fun. Then sunset. But I like the party the most. Because, it's different color bulbs.
Yeah, each one's a different color,
Different
which
color.
is really neat.
And it changes them. which is pretty cool. And then you have a custom setting where you can kind of make them. You make yourself. I guess I've never done the custom, but you can do the custom where you can say, oh, I want it to be all blue or whatever else, or I want it to be all red, right? So you can do that. But I like I said, I like the party setting. Kind of does it. So these are pretty neat.
Yeah, they're really neat.
We haven't set these up yet. This is like we're going to set them after the show. We're going to go set this thing up. This is pretty wild. So 12 bulbs. They don't get hot as they have in here. I think these are plastic, so that's fairly safe.
Yeah.
Feels like. Yeah,
I don't know.
it's probably plastic.
Feels like plastic.
But these cables, on the other hand, they are really strong. And then you have an end down over here, so if you want to connect another set to it, I guess you can, because they have another connector in the other end. I don't want to take that off because it's live. So yeah, so that's it. And then let's see, let me take this off here.
Well, these are really fun. So we're lucky to live in California, so we can use these all year long.
Yes, but if you live in, having formerly lived in cold weather, there's no reason you can't put this on.
Well, you can still use them. And just
So here's the connector
outside to hang out.
Let me go back to the overhead again. So here it is. You can see the thing. A piece of white paper. Let's see. You can see it this way better. You can see it's got the little hooky thing on it, so that's kind of nice. But these are really heavy duty. No question about it. Very well built. A lot of wire, strong wire, so that I feel really good about that. So that's it. That's the outdoor lights. So they're indoor string LED string lights, and then, or what are they called? Strip lights. And then these are string lights, and they're multicolor, and you can change the intensity and everything. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's neat. So, we just showed kind of a sample of some of the different WiZ Connected products. But if you go to the WiZ Connected store on Amazon, and I'm going to see if I can pull that up over here.
Okay. All right, so I think you saw quite a bit.
Yeah, if you go to the WiZ Connected store on Amazon, they have a lot more products. They have so many different kinds of bulbs, different kinds of lighting, accessories. Let me see if I can.
So Valerie's trying to find the link to the thing, to the store.
Well, I was going to put it here in the.
Yeah. I think I put it in the chat window, right? Did it work?
Hopefully that worked.
Hopefully it works.
Anyway, but they have a lot of different types of bulbs for whatever your lighting situation is. And we really love the WiZ Connected bulbs because they're so easy to use, really easy to customize. They work with your home Wi-Fi, so you don't need to have a separate hub to use them. So they're really great products.
So I want to show everybody something that you can do here. I think my MacBook here is there. So one thing you can do if you kind of like go in the carousel and you go into one of the things, if you want to get to the store, it's always under the title, visit the WiZ Connected store, and then you can click on it, right? And voila, you're now in the WiZ Connected store where all your other products are, lighting products are, a lot of the stuff we showed you today, but other things you can get as well, which is pretty cool. And it's a cute little site. So all on Amazon. And like I said, we've got all the products over here, feel free to, especially since if you're watching on the Prime Big Deal days, definitely look because there's a lot of these were on special. So again, take a look. All right, so I think that's pretty much it.
All right, so I think that's it. So again, we've been talking about the WiZ Connected lights. I'm just going to go through and kind of review the different things that we talked about. So we just showed the string lights. Those are outdoor string lights. Then each one of those 12 you can change to a different color, which is pretty nice. We also showed the light strips. Those are 2 sets of about 6.5 foot light strips that are multicolor.
And plastic coated, so you don't have to worry about touching the parts.
Those are pretty neat. Before that, we showed the WiZ Indoor Security Camera. That's a really nice indoor security camera. It's 1080p resolution, so a really nice picture. And it works in the WiZ app with all the other WiZ lights, so you can have it trigger lights to come on and off. Before that, we showed the WiZ Remote. And this is really nice because, you might think this is smart home stuff. What do you need a remote for? But, you don't always want to, pull out your phone. Sometimes we forget what we named the things with our friend
Amazon
Echo. We don't want to say her name since she's here in the room.
She's hiding. She's hiding right here. It gives us a little clock and everything else.
But you know, a remote is handy when you just want to quickly change. You want to get the lights extra bright, or you have friends and family visiting and they want to control the lights. And buttons are super easy. And this is a nice little remote. It's not very expensive, so it's definitely a good addition to your WiZ lighting. We also showed the new WiZ A19 color LED bulbs. Those are 60 watt equivalents. Those are nice, nice color LED bulbs that you can change to 16 million colors.
And they are really bright.
They're
so
super bright.
Like if you were to put them in your the table lamps, like in your living room or your bedroom, whatever else, you can really crank that. If you put them in daylight, crank them all the way up. They're pretty bright.
Yep,
so.
Super bright. And, you know, this happens to be a 2-pack of the 60 watt equivalent, but there's lots of different versions on the WiZ, here on Amazon from the WiZ store to get for exactly what you need. And then we also showed a little bit different. We showed the 2 different versions of the connected downlights, the smart downlights. There's 2 versions that you can retrofit into your existing light if you're able just to, you should probably explain this.
If you know how to screw in a light bulb, the retrofit bulbs work good as long as your can lights have that socket like a lamp would have.
Right. And then at the very beginning, we showed you the slim downlights, so you don't need to put those in a can. But in that case, you probably need to hire an electrician because you do have to wire those.
Yeah, it's a direct wire kind of thing.
It's a direct wire connection.
So if you're handy, but I always say get an electrician. Like in our case, it wasn't even just the electrician. I didn't want to have to climb a ladder up into the ceiling. So.
But those are really nice if you're remodeling or you have new construction and you want some really nice, elegant, smart LED lights. Those are definitely a great choice.
And they're really well built, by the way. One thing I could say, because I think you saw that metal box that allowed you to wire it up. They even made the simple connectors for hooking the wires. So we didn't have to use those twisty things, the wire nuts. You just put the wire into the connector, and that's really important. Those little details, I think, make a huge difference.
Yeah, I think that these are really well constructed. The Wi-Fi makes it easy for just about anybody to get started with these lights. They're super easy to use.
Yeah, so.
Right, so those are the WiZ connected products. Thank you so much for joining us here on Amazon Live. I
think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
Please don't forget to buy. Remember when you click and buy things going through our store or here on the carousel or whatever else, we do earn a slight commission because we are Amazon associates. So we appreciate it if you do that. It helps us have this channel.
It helps us maintain the channel, helps us keep bringing you reviews. So thank you very much.
That's it. I think we're good.
Thank
We're
you
out of
for
here.
watching.
Okay.